Everybody, I hope and pray you are having a magnificent day. Excuse me, stumbling on my words. So today's been a great day, and I just wanted to share with you, if you are in the process of renting a home, if you are thinking about it now, with the things that are going on with the housing market actually is really stable. So if you are interested in buying a home, it is still a good time to buy a home. It just means that you need to get your credit together real quick and real fast. You need to get a lender, and then you need to hire a realtor, get your insurance, do the inspection, close. Basically, as simple as that. So I wanted to talk to you today about some things that are your responsibility if you're renting, and then the things that are responsibility of owners. I get a lot of people asking me this all the time now because I'm a landlord. We do property management, and people always, the tenants always come to me and say, this is the owner's responsibility and not mine. So I wanted to share with you a couple of things that are your responsibility if you are renting a property, not just from us, but any property. So, first and foremost, a landlord, a property owner, is supposed to provide a safe structure of living space, a safe structure, roof, walls, everything needs to be intact, the flooring, and things of that nature. Also, heat needs to be on. It needs to be working in the season that is going on. If it's wintertime, the heat needs to be working. If it's summertime, the AC needs to be working. Or you per se may need window units. Sometimes in our lease, most of the houses that we have, they have AC in them, central air units. But sometimes tenants, maybe they get hot, they want another unit. That's your responsibility. The owner does not necessarily have to provide what is not in the lease. If you want extra, then you provide that. Running water and plumbing, those are essential needs, living needs. So you definitely have to have that. But most of the time, you're responsible for paying the bill. Electricity, safe wiring, all of that. That's the owner's responsibility. Smoke detectors, and sometimes even carbon monoxide detectors. But as a person that's going to live somewhere, I'm going to make sure I got me some smoke detectors and carbon monoxide, because carbon monoxide literally can save your life. So you, as wherever you're living at, you want to make sure that you have those things. And it cannot be, or a landlord should provide a clean space where there's no mold, no pests, no infestations, or any type of lead risk. So those are the things that an owner is typically supposed to provide. Now, people ask me, well, what does the tenant supposed to do? When I tell you that when we go to do our inspections for homes, I am literally overwhelmed, disappointed, and literally be want to curse people out. Why are you living up in here and it's nasty? It wasn't nasty when you started renting, but while you're here, it's nasty. You could tell a lot about people's lifestyle, how they live, by how they keep their house. And if they have the same excuse all the time when you come over there, that they just got home, or the house isn't typically this way, when you freaking know it is, because every time we've done an inspection, it's been that way, then you're a problem. And the owner, per our lease, the owner does not have to keep you there if you're not keeping the house clean and sanitary, taking the trash out, making sure you're not the problem why bugs are coming. And so I always like to make light of that, because people do not take cleanliness serious. And sometimes it really gets to be a problem. And you want to put people out, but you also want to give them a chance too. I give you several warnings. You got to clean up, baby. Okay? You got to clean up. You need to take your trash out. You need to replace light bulbs. Why are you calling property management to change a light bulb? Okay? And in an apartment, they do those things sometimes, but they still charge you. I know apartment complexes where they charge you to change the light bulb. If you're living in a place you need new light bulbs, you need to change your light bulb. Don't call property management. Appliances, they should be clean. We just had a resident that did not clean her appliances, and she called us and told us that the stove did not work. When the contractor went over there, come to find out, the tenant just ain't cleaned the dang on stove. You got to clean up. That's part of cleanliness that you have to do. You also must report issues immediately when they happen if you are renting. You must report issues immediately. Had a lady, her furnace was not working. She waited a whole month to tell us it wasn't working. This was during the winter time. Come to find out, the pipes busted. So my question is, where were you all the time that it was cold? Were you up in the house cold? Did you not have your utilities on? I mean, renting, you have responsibilities too. Everything does not fall on the owner, and you have to take accountability for something. Everything does not lie on the owner. You must read your lease when you decide to rent. Even if you're purchasing a home, you must read everything. A lot of times people forget the black print, okay? And that black print literally can save you lots of money and frustration and headaches. Minor repairs, one thing that we um, help our home buyers about, because we teach you how to become a homeowner. And the owner is not going to always replace things when they constantly have wear and tear, and sometimes it's your fault. Had a lady the other day, hair is always in the drain. She wears weave and she's constantly changing her hairstyle, and hair is always in the drain. So when the plumber goes over there, the drain guy, he's pulling out goo gobs of hair. The owner said, hell no, we not doing it no more. Because at this point, it becomes a you problem instead of a us problem, landlord owner problem. And we made the lady aware, you got to stop doing your hair in the kitchen and washing all somebody else's hair down the drain, because this is causing it to stop up. And so at that point, it becomes a you problem and you're going to be responsible for it most times. Okay. Um, Leaving food out, and again, as I mentioned, nasty, that causes pests, rodents. And at what point do you become responsible for it? Cleanliness. You got to take care of the house like it is yours. And most times people don't take care of things like you would take care of it. They take care of it because they know they don't own it. And so sometimes, a lot of times, they just don't care. And so lawn care, a lot of our seniors that we have, majority of them, they hire lawn care companies to come and mow the lawn, because a lot of times they can't get out to do it. But if you are able-bodied and you got a man living up in there with you, somebody needs to be cutting the grass, okay? Somebody needs to be cutting the grass. The grass should not be high as your knees when you are there, especially if you got a grown, able-bodied teenager or man living up in the house with you. And so I wanted to share some things with you, because it's like, people take advantage of situations when they have control. And you got to learn, if you're going to rent, that what's your responsibility. And all of that is going to be outlined in your lease. That's why I said it's so very important that you read the lease when you sign it, before you sign it and move into that property, so you know what your responsibility is and what is the owner's responsibility. And so also keep insurance on the property, for your property and for the owners. Because if something happens to that property while you're staying there, the owner can come back and sue you, because you live there and you allowed it to happen. So keep insurance on your property. Insurance is when something happened. A lot of times people don't like to get insurance until they need it. That's whether it's a car, whether it's home, whether it's renters, health, life, whatever. People don't like to get insurance until they need it. And so it's very important that you cover your belongings as well as the owner, so that they don't come back and sue you. You also want to make sure that any issues that arise, whether it is plumbing, whether it's roof, whether it's heating and cooling, water, anything of that nature, you want to make the landlord, the owner, aware of as soon as possible. So I hope these things help. I always like to share enlightenment, because these things I see on a daily basis. And when tenants say, well, that's not my responsibility, I'm like, yes, it is. When you move out, also, I want to share this. Take your crap with you, because if you move out and you had a security deposit and you move out and you leave your belongings there, you're going to be charged that with your security deposit. Okay, because that is your responsibility to take those things with you. Change air filters too. Another thing that tenants don't like to do or have not done. When the weather changes, look at the filter. Went to a lady's house 3 days ago. It was so much stuff, dog care, and she wasn't even supposed to have a pet. Make sure you're supposed to have that you paid to have a pet before you have a pet in somebody else's house. Because people don't take care of their pets like you think they should take care of their pets. Some people have feces in their houses from the dogs, cats, birds, whatever they got in there. Make sure and pay your security deposit for a pet if you have one. That is your responsibility because if that dog tears up their house again, you don't get your security deposit back. And if there's damage, the owner can come back and sue you for that as well. So I hope these tips help. You got questions, leave them down below, excuse me. If you like anything real estate, go ahead and connect with me at Tribe Realty Group on YouTube as well. Go ahead and subscribe here if you like information about lifestyle, and that includes real estate. All right. Thank you for being here. Blessings and peace. I got to go back to another inspection. Talk to you later. Have a blessed rest of the day.